We're just all here. We celebrate our diversity, but our common humanity matters more. We want a country of shared prosperity with shared opportunities and shared responsibilities where we're all in the boat together going forward together. Now, everything about these last 7 years contradicts that. And look at the consequences. In the 1990s, in the years when I served, we had 22.7 million new jobs. In this decade, 5 million, less than a fourth as many. In that decade, almost 8 million people worked their way from poverty up into the middle class. That's the American dream. In this decade, 5 million people have fallen from the middle class into poverty, most of them while they were working full time. That's the American nightmare. In that decade, after inflation, median family income grows $7,500 a year. $8,300 for African Americans from a lower base, but the point is we were growing together. The bottom 20% of our earners actually had their incomes increased in percentage terms more than the top 5%. We were growing together. That's the American dream. In this decade, after inflation, median family income is $1,000 lower than it was the day I left office. Now that explains why most people think they're in a recession. And we've got to do something about this. This is a country that thrives when the middle class does well. And Hillary believes that in order to do it, we have to create more jobs that are the jobs of the future. We have to get back into the research business and take the politics out of scientific research that has paralyzed so much of it in the last decade. That we have to make college available to everybody, do something about health care, and go back to financial responsibility. Those are the things she thinks we have to do. And well, I was thrilled when I read a description of this building because this makes the point. If you look around all the wealthiest countries in the world today, the only countries that are growing jobs and growing the middle class and shrinking poverty, the only high-income countries, are the ones that have made a serious commitment, to energy independence through clean energy and energy efficiency. That is the ticket to the future for this country and for the young people here. And how does she want to do this? She wants to take about $50 billion in special interest subsidies, such as those given to the oil and nuclear companies in the 2005 energy bill when they were already making a ton of money. And she's the only one left who voted against it. She wants to take those back, repeal the provisions of the tax code that encourage people to close plants in America and move them overseas, and get rid of a lot of these no-bid contracts that are an embarrassment to America around the world and a waste of your money, and create a fund that we will use to accelerate America's energy independence through clean energy and energy efficiency and fight global warming. Now, how will we do this? There are several things we can do. First, she thinks we have to find a way to take the carbon dioxide out of coal. You either have to bury it or neutralize it because we cannot stop the world burning coal. You burn it in this part of America, but that's not what she says this in California. China this year will burn more coal than the United States, Japan, and Europe combined. They are bringing on a new coal-fired plant every 10 days. The young people who have studied this know that the rest of the world is perfectly capable of burning up the planet and compromising your future no matter what we do, right? This is something we have to do together, fighting global warming. We cannot do it unless we find a way to solve that. So she would have 10 major projects around America, investing this research money and figuring out how to use coal without emitting carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. It is critical to the future of the planet. Secondly, she would accelerate the use of wind and solar and biomass and geothermal, the kind of technologies that you use here, underground heat. But biomass